Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda, and I am here with my possibilities for Nonfiction November, but also for Historathon 2024 Q4 because they go well together. Nonfiction November was started by Olive at A Book Olive. This is her 10th year of hosting. It is also sadly her final year of hosting. So I'm not sure what this is going to look like going forward, but I'm sure that we will continue to do Nonfiction November. So to participate in Nonfiction November, all you have to do is read some nonfiction. If you don't read any nonfiction, just read one book. If you tend to read nonfiction, read a little bit more. That's all you have to do. But sort of a bonus, Olive comes up with 4 prompt words for us to interpret however we want and see if we can read books that fit those. Now, I had gotten those words, and we'll go over them. And I had come up with a list. I'm like, I'm ready to go. And then I looked at the books I had, and I realized that 3 of the 4 books are broadly about the same thing, broadly. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do quite that. So I have that list. And then I also have alternates in case I decide, nope, we're just gonna whatever. Or if I end up DNFing one of these. So the words are code, path, shot, and join. But I am going to actually do path first because when you get my physical books, path is the one that doesn't fit with the other ones. So it'll make more sense. So let me start with path. What I chose, and I went really literal with this one, is The Salt Path by Raynor Winn. So this is about a woman and her husband, she's found out their husband's terminally ill. And so they decide, and they're going to lose their home. So they decide they're going to do what anyone would do in those situations and walk the coastal path of England, because that's what you do. Now, I have heard very varying reactions to this book, from good to very negative. So there is a possibility that this might not be finished. I'm giving myself to DNF if I end up not liking it. On the surface, this really sounds like a book I would love. So we'll see. It might work for me. I don't know. But my backup book for this, and I did have to really kind of toy with the prompt to get this one to work, is Democracy Awakening by Heather Cox Richardson. And the idea that it will get us back on the path to democracy after the past. Now, caveat on this one, I don't know if I'll be able to read this if early November doesn't go well. So there's that. Path is my problem prompt for this, but those are my 2 options. In all of these, the first option is going to be the print book. Okay, so now let's go to code. And this one I'm really looking forward to reading, so I'll be very surprised if I don't do it, but these next 3 print books all deal in some way-ish with the Civil War and American Civil War, which is interesting, but I don't know if I want to read. This is the one that's least like it, but I don't know if I want to read 3 books on the Civil War, to be totally honest. But we'll see. The first one, this is not directly Civil War. It's not a war book, but it deals with enslavement. And that is All That She Carried, the journey of Ashley Sack, a Black family keepsake. So this is the idea where frequently African Americans or enslaved people would, like quilts and blankets and stuff, they would embroider things with messages or parts of their history. So it's a sense of a code in folk decoration, folk art. And this book was it won the National Book Award. It did win. It also was longlisted for this year's Women's Prize because it was only published in the UK this year, but it was published in the US a few years ago. I have heard nothing but great things about this book, so I am very much looking forward to it. And this is probably the most likely book that I am going to finish of all of these, of my original stack. But if something happens and I don't read this one, my backup is a book called That Librarian, which is a memoir of a librarian, but also deals with book banning. And the reason I got code out of this was the Dewey Decimal System. I had to reach. But yeah, so I worked in libraries. If I could go back and do it all over again, I'd go get my MLS and be a librarian. I loved working in libraries, but yeah, we use both the Dewey Decimal Code and the Dewey Decimal System and the Library of Congress system. There's 2 different coding of where you put books. So that's where I got code with that one. All my alternates, by the way, are audiobooks. I should have said that. And one of the reasons why is because I do like I do like nonfiction audio, but also this gives me a little more flexibility as far as time and being able to read other things. So Code Path, Shot. So for that one, I have it. I'm really looking forward to this one. The Demon of Unrest by Erik Larson. So this is leading up to the first shots of the Civil War that were fired at Fort Sumter, South Carolina. I will read just a little bit of this from the jacket copy. And it says, November 6th, 1860, Abraham Lincoln became the fluky victor in a tight race for president. The country was bitterly at odds. No comment. The Southern extremists were moving ever closer to destroying the Union. No comment. With one state after another seceding and Lincoln powerless to stop them. Slavery fueled the conflict, but somehow the passions of North and South came to focus on a lonely federal fortress in Charleston Harbor, Fort Sumter. So this is leading up to the first shots of the Civil War. That's where I get shot. Now, I took shot in a different way for my alternate book, and this is an audiobook that I've had for quite some time, just haven't gotten to it, and that is Girly Drinks by Mallory O'Mara. So Mallory is one of the hosts of the Reading Glasses podcast, which I really love, and this is a book about like women and alcohol. There you go. So shot. Get it? Shot. Again, if I need a break from the Civil War, I can turn to drinking. There you go. And then we have Join. So this one also a Civil War book, and it's one that it's in my self-destruct list. So if I don't read this in Nonfiction November, it's leaving my house. That's just the way it goes. But that is Liar, Temptress, Soldier, Spy. And this is about 4 women, two from the North and 2 from the South, who became spies during Civil War. This sounds incredibly fascinating, and I've had this book for quite some time. I have heard it is very readable. So, I mean, this probably should be my highest priority because it's a self-destruct book, but it is. So this is the kind of problem I'm running into right here. These are biggies. This one, text-wise, there's always like an index, so we gotta see exactly how much with text. Coda. This is 491 pages of text, and this one is. Oh, this writer is quite lovely. I just have to say that. 429. Karen Abbott is a very lovely woman. Just thought I'd share that with you. So yeah, this is Join, and it's about how women joined the war effort during the Civil War. So if that doesn't work, I have another audiobook. And this one is a lovely one by Ketanji Brown Jackson, which I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to get read anyway, if not in October, then November, because I'm really looking forward to it. And if you don't know who Ketanji Brown Jackson is, she is the latest person to join the U.S. Supreme Court. She is our youngest in terms of age and seniority of the justices. She is also the most qualified person on the Supreme Court. She's had the most varied career up to this point. And she's just a very interesting character. And because she's really only been on the court for, I think, 2 terms now, people don't know that much about her. And I'm really interested in learning more about her. So lovely one. So again, those are my options. And I will go through them again really quickly for you. So for code, wait a minute. Where's my, okay. Oh, here we go. Code. Option 1 is All That She Carried by Tiya Miles, about folk art and passing messages through it. And second choice is that Librarian. I forgot to get the author's name. Sorry, it's down there. About being a librarian and dealing with book banning, but also she works in the Dewey Decimal System, which is a code. For Path, I have The Salt Path by Raynor Winn, about a woman and her dying husband who walked the 630-mile southwest coast path from Somerset to Dorset through Devon and Cornwall. They're walking on a path, very literal. Second option is Democracy Awakening, where it's getting us back on the path of being a democratic nation again. For Shot, I have The Demon of Unrest by Erik Larson, which is what led up to the first shots of the Civil War. Nice big dad book, although I hate that term dad book. I love these books, and I'm not a dad. I will never be a dad. And my husband, who is a dad, never reads them. So there you go. Or Girly Drinks. It's about women taking shots and women making shots and the importance of women in the development of alcohol. And then finally for Join, I have Liar, Temptress, Soldier, Spy by Karen Abbott. The way 4 women joined the war effort during the Civil War as spies. And if that doesn't work, I have Lovely One by Ketanji Brown Jackson, a memoir of the latest person to join the U.S. Supreme Court. So there you go. If you are participating in Nonfiction November and you're doing the prompts, I'd love to hear what your choices are. Also, and I will put this down below, last year during Nonfiction November, someone said, can we have a Discord? And all of a sudden, I don't know how to do Discord. So I started a Discord. There is an existing Discord for Nonfiction November. Not very busy, but you can go down and visit it. I'll put the code to it down below. So you can go down to that Discord. You can also join my Discord, which is even farther down below that in the notes. So anyway, like, subscribe, join my Discord or the Nonfiction November Discord, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.